beginning the recording now. Okay, so anadira viveko anyatha dosha dvaya prasakte. So therefore we must admit that aviveka must be eternal. So the next statement says na nityaha syat atmavat anyatha anuchittihi. So now the Siddhanti says that aviveka cannot be nitya like the soul. Otherwise, it would not be possible to be released of it. Okay, to destroy aviveka. So here, because this statement is actually in opposition to the previous one, how is it in opposition? Because when you say that something is anadi, without a beginning, then as I have told you before, what it automatically implies is that it is also without an end. Because if now you had something which was anadi, what it implies is that it cannot be created. That is why you are saying it is anadi. Nobody created it, it existed from ever. So now if you are able to destroy it, there must come a time, sometime, when all of it is destroyed. So that is why philosophically that is not held to be tenable. So whatever is anadi has to be anant. Okay, so, which means essentially that it is nitya or eternal. So that is why when you say anadi, it is nitya, and the now the next statement says na nitya. It is not nitya. So it is actually contradictory. Now the commentators have said that the thing is that the atma and paramatma are kutastha nitya. Prakriti is parinami nitya, and this aviveka is uh, impersonal, and it is nitya by pravaha. So what are these words? One is kutastha nitya. You may remember it. I have taught this to you earlier. Kutastha nitya means it remains exactly as is, does not change ever, like God. Its basic nature does not change. You can take it in contrast. You have prakriti, which the primordial matter is of a certain nature, and then the karyas which are coming out of it are all variants of it. So it is changing. So changes are called, transformations are called parinamas. So that is parinami nitya. And pravaha nitya is like a river. So any molecule in the river of water is never constant. It emanates in the mountains and flows to the ocean. So it has a life cycle. But the river by itself is constant. So that is called pravahi nitya. So they have said that this is prava nitya, this aviveka. So you this nityata which is being talked about is not related to a particular soul, but to creation in general, all the souls taken together. So in them it will continue to flow, even if somebody enters it or somebody exits it. Aviveka will continue as is. Now there are several problems with this. One is that there are only two types of nityatas. This parinami and pravaha are the same thing. Okay, there are only two types of eternities. One is kutastha and one is parinami or pravaha. Pravaha is the same thing, that things are changing and yet remaining the same. And this also creation is also like that. It is changing and yet remaining the same. Change is leading to continuation. So that is the kind of um, eternity which is called pravahanitya or parinaminitya. It is the same thing. So this distinction by the commentators is actually not valid. Number two is this aviveka. Avivek is very much related to the soul. It does not exist outside of the soul. it is the soul in its connection with the body that we have aviveka. So there is no point in talking of an impersonal aviveka, which will always be there in this universe. That is a meaningless idea which does not say anything that we all understand. It is like saying matter will always be part of the universe. Of course, matter will be part of the universe. There's no point in saying that there will be ever be a universe which has no matter in it. So this is very much a personal thing. So now coming back to my explanation for this, na nityah syad atmavad anyatha anuchiti. So the Siddhanti is countering the Purva Pakshi in his previous statement and saying that if you are going to take Avivek as Anadi, you will have to consider it as eternal. If it is eternal, then there is no point of talking about moksha because you cannot get rid of it. Okay, as simple as that. It's not so difficult to understand once you understand correctly. Okay, so next one is pratiniyata karana nashyatvamasya dhvantavat. So he further explains a little bit about now aviveka and about his destruction or nash. So he says that this aviveka is destroyed by a particular cause. There is a fixed cause, very specific cause by which it is destroyed. It cannot be destroyed by anything or everything, but it is destroyed by a particular cause. And just like darkness, you may remember we had come across this earlier also. The same simile. This is like first chapter 21st sutra. Also, almost exactly the same words were used. That just as darkness has only one way of destroying it, and that is light. You cannot do anything else with darkness to remove it. Similarly, to remove aviveka, there is only one way in which it can be destroyed, and that is by means of acquiring viveka. So he kind of repeats that. Why? Because he wants to bring in a Purva Paksha as well related to that. So the Purva Pakshi says, Atrapi pratiniyamo anvaya vyatirekat. He says that if what you are saying is actually confirming the second problem which I had stated to you, he says here too there is a counter cause. The pratiniyam which you gave, how to counter this avivek. Similarly, I'm also saying that avivek cannot be countered by vivek, and vivek cannot be countered by avivek. This is through anvay and vyatirek. So, what is anvay and vyatirek? Anvay means that if P then Q, and vyatirek means if not P then not Q. Okay, so what he's saying is if there is vivek, then there is no avivek, and if there is avivek, then there is no vivek. So therefore, you cannot have one or the other at the same time. Okay, so he says what you have just said is exactly saying what I mentioned in my second thing. So just like light and darkness cannot coexist, so similarly vivek and avivek cannot coexist, and therefore one cannot arise out of the other.
Uttara, it is more like P is equal to not of Q and not of P is equal to Q, right? Not the other way that you mentioned.
Actually, even I thought, because in Western logic, it is P implies Q, and then not Q implies not P. Is the takes care of yeah, IFF, that is if and only if condition. But
Yeah.
here actually it is this way only. Anvay means if this is present, then the other is present, and Vyatirek is if this is absent, then the other is absent. So it is P implies Q. If P is there, then Q is there. If
Yeah,
not P,
except P is in the assertive mode and Q is in the non-assertive mode sense we have to take in our minds. That's all. Okay.
what it means is if P is there, then Q is there. If not P is there, if P is not there, then Q is also not there. Okay, that is what
Okay.
Vyatirek stands for. Okay, So now,
Uttara?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm little lost here. Can you just summarize 12 and 13 in one line?
14 and 15.
12 is Avivek has no beginning, right?
Yeah, 12 says that aviveka cannot have a beginning, because if we think that avivek has a beginning, then there are two defects in that assertion. Okay, the first defect is that from where did we basically we consider that, okay, let us assume that vivek exists, avivek has a beginning. Okay, in that case it has to arise out of something. So now how did it arise? If we say it arose from karma, then there is a problem, because karma also arises out of avivek, as we saw nishkam karma and sakam karma. So essentially nishkam means where you have no aviveka. You have viveka, then all your actions become nishkam karma. If you are lacking in viveka, that is if you have aviveka, then all the deeds which you do are sakama karma, which lead to uh, a birth. So let us say, okay, so avivek and karma are very intricately joined together. Let us say birth is the cause of avivek. If there was no birth, there would be no avivek. So then again, on the other hand, we say that avivek determines your birth. The more avivek, ignorance that you have, the lower down in the hierarchy of beings you will take birth. And the more enlightened you have become in this life, the higher up in the hierarchy of beings you will move up. Okay. So therefore, again, we find that there is a chicken and egg problem between aviveka and birth as well. So both, this is actually only one defect. The second defect is that vivek and avivek they negate each other. They are opposites of each other, so they cannot exist together. So if one is existing, the other cannot exist. So if you are saying that vivek is with avivek is with a beginning, then you have to say that before that it was vivek which existed. Then how did that vivek convert into avivek? So again we arrive at a contradiction. So since we are not able to figure out how avivek was generated, we get out of that problem by saying it is eternal.
Okay.
So then the Siddhanti says that if it is eternal, then you cannot get rid of it also. Then talking of moksha is meaningless.
Moksha possible. Okay.
So that is the 13th verse. So then in the 14th verse, he explains that there is a way in which aviveka can be destroyed, and that is a very fixed way, just like light destroys darkness. So then immediately the Purva Pakshi joins back and he says, but that is what I said in number 2 problem, that light and darkness cannot coexist. So therefore, what you are saying, that is the same problem. Anvay Vyatirek, if there is light, then there is no darkness, and if there is
that
no
is
light,
not true though. That is not true though. I mean, we know that in Loka also, existence of light doesn't mean darkness doesn't exist, because we can close our eyes, not receive the light.
No, you have to look at a particular point in space and then talk about it. You cannot go to outside on the street and say there is darkness there and I have put light in my room. So you can't look at two places. We are talking.
No, what I was saying is, sometimes this viveka, though it is knocking at our head, we ignore it because we choose to close our eyes to it. That's that sense.
Okay, but this is a logical thing only. But again, of course, obviously there is a defect in the logic. You can shine light on darkness. However, the Purva Pakshi is continuing to say that that if one exists, then the other cannot exist. So you cannot generate one from the other. Okay, so that is his point. So then this Siddhanti comes back and he says, Prakarantara Sambhavad aviveka eva bandha. This is a very important sutra, and I will just do this and then close this session. You must think a lot over this. So he says that because there is no other way, that is why this aviveka is the same as bandha. Bandh means you're taking birth. So this bondage of the soul in the body is the same as aviveka. Okay, so again, the commentators have taken this as bondage is the karan for aviveka. But actually, that is not what it means here. It does mean that aviveka itself is bondage, and bondage itself is aviveka. So the way I see it is like this, that when God connects you to a body, he automatically inserts some ignorance into you. He can only connect you to a body by connecting you to ahankara and buddhi. If he does not connect you to the body at all, then you will just fly out. He has to establish that relationship between you and the body, that you take control of your body and you are able to manipulate your body. For that reason, you have to understand that you are your body. Okay, then only you have that seamless connection with your body by which you can operate your body beautifully and remarkably. You know, oh my dear, I didn't. Oh, shit. Prashanti was waiting. I didn't.
Oh God! Oh, okay. I thought recording is on, so I was confused. Oh.
Sorry, Prashanti, I didn't realize you were waiting. I don't know. I thought only Gauri and Chandan were left. Sorry about that.
No, actually, she was there. I think she dropped out due to some link problem or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Anyway, so at the beginning of birth, God connects you with aviveka, and as you proceed in life, you can reduce this aviveka or you can increase this aviveka. Then it comes into your own hands. The initial amount of aviveka which you are born with is, of course, dependent on where you were in your previous life. So if you had gained a lot of aviveka by doing bad things in your life, your papa was far in excess of punya, then you will get more aviveka in your next life also. When you are born as a cat or a mouse, then there is more ignorance there. So accordingly, that birth is taken. If you have progressed in your life and you have become more enlightened than what you started out with, then you will get a better birth, and so that sequence will continue till finally you achieve moksha. So that is the final goal. So that is what he's saying, that there is no other way to explain the existence of aviveka except through this bondage. So what is also kind of implying is that this particular kind of ignorance which is there, and here I must say this particular kind of ignorance, because there is the ignorance of lack of knowing how the universe works, for example. That is a different kind of ignorance. But this ignorance, this delusion which we have that we are our body, is created uh, because of this bondage with the body. So the bondage with the body itself is aviveka. Okay. So we will now, we just have 3 minutes left. So I will do a, just recap the verses. I'm sorry without you, then you please join me with the mantra. Is there any question? No. Okay. स्वनादेर विवेकोऽन्यथा दोषद्वया प्रसक्तेः न नित्यः स्यादात्मवादन्यथा नुच्छित्तिः प्रतिनियतकारणान्नाश्यत्वमस्य ध्वान्तवत् अत्रापि प्रतिनियमो अन्वयव्यतिरेकात् प्रकारान्तरा संभवाद विवेक एव पन्थः. Okay, so please do revise this and think over it. You will find that there are other meanings in this last sutra in particular. So please unmute yourself and we will do the next Ved mantra.
Om
Abhayam
Abhayam
Mitrad, Abhayam
Amitrad, Abhayam
Jnatat,
Jnatat, Abhayam
Abhayam
Puroyah,
Abhayam
Abhayam Naktam, Abhayam Divanah, Sarva Asha Mama Mitram Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay.
धन्यवादः.
Thank you, Uttaraji. Thank you.
Thank you, Uttara.
Thank you, Uttaraji.
Bye-bye.
धन्यवाद.
Bye,
धन्यवाद.
everyone.
धन्यवाद. मिलेंगे.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
मिलामा.
See you all next class.
Next class.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.